What's good, tribe? So, as I told you this afternoon, I was going to bring up three of the most horrific days behind the wall. As you could imagine, day one. Day one is never, ever a pleasant day. As you're getting off the cattle bus, or whatever they want to call it, it used to be called the Grey Goose, but those buses aren't really around anymore. They have what they call like cattle cars now. They're pulled behind like an 18-wheeler, and they're just basically, being moved along like animals, like livestock. And you get to whatever institution you're getting to. Seems like it's always sunny and bright when you first get there, and the first thing you see is warning, no warning shots all along the walls, and the feeling of, I guess I'm going to go with despair. It's probably one of the only words I can come up with. I'm trying to think, but despair pretty much describes how you feel, and then you shift off to whatever little holding pen you're going to go to. If you're going to a little 1 yard or a little 2 yard, a little 3 yard, a little 4 yard, they got, you're pretty much basically already figured out. At first you're all humped together and they start brushing you off. If you're high power and you're not supposed to play with others, and you're usually set off to the side. So getting to the institution, you'll never feel more lonely in your entire life. That's not exactly true. There'll be many times that you'll feel that despair. So day one is never pleasant. You'll get off, sit there, it seems like for hours and hours, and it's just a whole new reprocessing coming from the county to the state. You'll bag up your stuff, you'll decide whether you're donating it or whether you'll be sending it home. Anybody doing any kind of stretch usually just donates it. You're not going to see it again, and sending it home is pretty much all that makes sense if you have a home to send it to. Not everybody does. So one of the second most horrifying days is, believe it or not, and I know a lot of you will probably find this hard to believe, but is your release date. After you've done some calendars and watched some time fall away, and the whole world has continued to move, but not yours. Your world has just sort of stood still, been put on hold, pause, standby, whatever you want to call it. That's been put on hold, and you're in so much fear getting out. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? You've been down many calendars. You don't have phone numbers. Some people are fortunate enough to have remained in contact with mom, dad. Not everybody does that, guys. A lot of people cut the outside world loose when they go, because if you're realistic about things, none of that concerns you anymore. All it is heartache and despair to contemplate any of that. But one of the most truly horrifying days is Valentine's Day. They got many names for them. Jody, Sancho, Sancha, So while you're sitting up in a lonely, cold, dark, and it may not even be cold or dark, but it sure feels cold and dark cell, knowing that, somebody you once used to big spoon, little spoon with, caress your fingers through their hair, caress their face. Somebody else is doing that because you made a poor decision. Probably might have even been behind her, But Valentine's Day inside is not a good day for anybody. You'll see people, grown men, convicts, hardened men, come out of that telephone booth, holding as much as they can, trying to be as crazy as they can, without saying anything, because they don't want anybody talking to them. Because generally on that day, Jody or Sancho or whatever, he likes to have a little entertainment and go ahead and answer the phone when you try and call. Just like, hello? You know, nothing worse than a dude with a size 13 boot answering your phone. You could tell by the bass in his voice. You know, I'm running with a little 9.5 shoe, so if you get the joke, you get the joke. You know what they say about small feet, small socks. So, you know, there's nothing more horrific than that. That is one of the most loneliest feelings there ever gonna be. You know, knowing that somebody else was holding your girl that day because you made a poor decision and are now paying the price for it. Out there trying to hustle up that little $20 bill, slinging curbside, or putting in work for the neighborhood that you may not ever see again. Yeah, you can claim it while you're inside. You know what I mean? I'm from Sanford, you know what I mean? Where you from? Pacas, Long Beach, you know, Longo, wherever. It doesn't matter. You may never be going back to that neighborhood again unless you're called out OTC out to court. You know, if you're fortunate enough to be getting out, because as you guys all know, they're giving stretches these days. They are not fucking around. You know, these little armed robberies, once people quit doing the circle of robbing, you know, the homies who are slinging the sack and this and that, and went outside to start robbing, you know, the normal everyday Mo and Joe, crime sentences have gone up. Mandatory crime sentences have gone up. And so therefore, you're doing a stretch. You know, they've also got what they call halftime, 80%. In the feds, I believe it's 85% that you do. A single day behind the wall, not a good day. You know, how these correctional officers do it every day, go to prison for 8 to 12 hours a day for 5 to 6 days a week, come home. You know, it's not a job that I would want. You start to get disconnected. You know, that's the day you're in your cell and you're writing the "I love you," "I'm sorry," "We're never gonna," "I'll always," "I promise," "I'm gonna do." You know, you're in there just pouring your soul out, and you mean all of it. When you're writing it all, you mean it all. You know, and when all that gets destroyed, taken away, when you get that, you know, hey bro, man to man, I just wanted to get at you and let you know I'm with your girl now. We're a couple, you know, she might be pregnant, whatever the case may be. When you get that letter, you know, or she finally steps up and lets you know, hey, it's probably best you quit calling, you know, somebody else has filled your shoes because you weren't around to do what needed to be done. It's not always a physical urge when they're out there cheating on you, you know, it's a loneliness. They feel that too. Only they're able to do something about it. And the majority of us, we'd probably do the same thing. So for those of us that have hated on our girl for cheating on us when we were gone, you know, we need to look at our part and realize that we took ourselves away from her. She didn't matter enough, or the kids didn't matter enough for me not to do the things that I did that continuously kept me behind that wall. You know, as for me, every time I'd get close to, you know, looking at an EPRD, I would self-sabotage one way or the other. I would get involved in some mixture of bullshit, smuggling, whatever, beating, some kind of bullshit that's gonna, you know, keep me there, get me a 115, 90 days, 6 months, whatever, you know, send me to the SEG, whatever the case may be. Out of fear of getting out, I would make poor decisions, and that's what they call institutionalized, guys. It's where you know you feel comfortable. There's people in there that have been in there that have this great name. You know, the homie Woo Woo, everybody wants to know him. They've heard his fucking name 5,000 times, so therefore they must know him. Oh yeah, I know him. You know, bullshit. I don't fucking know him. You know, sorry about my language, because you know what? Today life's really good, man. Like, you see that? I really got those for somebody, you know? I got those for somebody, and I get to hold that person tonight, and I will not make the decision unless put into that position of protecting me or mine. And then it's just a no matter what situation, you know what I mean? A man does what a man has to do. A boy does what he can do. So, and a man can walk away. And a man can not put himself in a position to where he's going to have to do something to be taken from his Sanchita or his Jaina or whatever. You know what I mean? His girl, his lady, his queen. He can make the decision, man, I'm going to give all this up over a little bit of pride and ego, and I'm going to end up punching holes in this dude because of some name exchanging or something, you know. 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 2 seconds of poor decision can have you behind that wall for a long time, fellas. You know what I mean? And after a while, it just becomes routine. I've asked Magic to come up with some content for you guys because what you guys may be interested in hearing was just life. It was just everyday life for me, you know. Yard down, gunners on the roof, you know, gates slamming, get down, get down, get down, pepper spray in the air, you know. It was all part of life. It's just how it was, and it's no life. You know, I mean, people say you only live once. I say bullshit. You get to live every day. You only die once. So go ahead and try and live to the best of your ability. And if your pride and ego are involved, hey man, if it's worth giving up, holding your queen, smelling her hair, holding her hand, you know, then, or pride and ego, trying to keep that pride and ego out there. I say it all the time, if you're really crazy, then smile and wave. You know what I mean? You ain't got to advertise all that. And if it's really got to be that type of situation, invite a fella out to coffee. Just don't have witnesses around when you invite them out for coffee, you know, in case things go a little south. So those are 3 of the most horrible days. Day 1, admittance, coming in, R&R, you know. Last day, heading out, R&R. You know what I mean? That's usually where people chuck their Bible in the corner and come out here and think they're going to just do what they're going to do. And it's so easy to fall back into the bad crowd because we group together, you know what I mean? And desperate people start grouping together, and the next thing they know, they're locked up again, you know? I just spent the last 3 days in the hospital. I'll go ahead and say why. You know, I was embarrassed, but my life's an open book to you guys anyway, and I don't really give a shit. You know, you're either a heavy hitter and you're on my team, or you're like this, whatever his name was. That's how important you were to me, brother. Just so you know, or sister, the one who peeled me for 500,000 minutes and, you know, 700,000 views. That's how important. I don't even remember your name, and I don't really give a shit. You know, this is for heavy hitters. You've probably been a taker your whole life, and you'll probably always be a taker. You've never tried to help anyone, nor would you try and help anyone unless there was something in it for you. You know, and I'm sorry that I was letting my personal stuff affect the channel due to finances. I was bringing up finances a lot, and you know, Magic's telling me we need this and that. So one of a true heavy hitter out there, he reached out and touched me, and I spent it on just what I spent it on, the computer. I got an Apple computer, and hopefully Magic's able to do his end of the deal now and start editing things. I hope you guys are enjoying his editing a little better. I'm not that smart. You know what I mean? I'm just a fella who survived some horrific shit and get to be here to tell you about it and tell you what not to do. Hopefully, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just trying to let you know my experience so that maybe you don't have to experience it. Not everyone gets to come out and talk about their story. You know, my dog, my car, it just seems like the last of 2018 was a very painful time in my life, and it was starting to affect the channel, so I started backing off a little bit. And in the comments, you know, I let them get to me, and I guess I'm not the only one. You know, APS, I understand he let him get to him, Josh has let him get to him, Herc has let him get to him. So I guess what I went through was a normal thing, you know. And usually my skin's thicker than that, but like when you got all this other stuff going, your son's going to prison, you know, you just totaled your car, and you're used to helping people get off the streets. It's raining outside, man, it's cold outside, and I love to be out there helping people get into a place where they're safe, and they have a warm bed, and they can hit a hot shower, you know what I mean, and shove a top ramen down their neck, you know. That's what I'm accustomed to doing long before this channel. I've been financing, doing this stuff on my own. You know, I was in a good position for a while when I was helping people get into treatment. If they went in and they stayed through me, then I would try and work it out to where, you know, if they come in on their own insurance and they stayed through their whole treatment, that after treatment, they could go to a sober living home, a reputable sober living home, and that we would cover the rent for 3 months, you know. But I had to drop that down to whatever, because things started changing with the laws. So I dropped it down to where I was picking up the rent for, you know, a week to 2 weeks until they would get themselves a job. Because when you come in and you're around that positive vibe all the time, you're gonna want to seek employment. This hole is gonna get filled. You know, you're gonna meet a beautiful girl. You know, whether she's beautiful this way or inside, it doesn't matter. The beauty's there, you know. And that's what I was doing long before YouTube came out, you know, or my version of YouTube anyway. So all you guys that got to say your negative comments, go ahead, man. Like, it's not going to bother me anymore. I had enough family stuff going on to where it did bother me, but I will not allow it to bother me anymore. Some of you guys have reached out. A partner of mine out there, we haven't even met, but he told me, look, I don't really have a problem, but I do this when I go out because I get bored. Man, that's America's #1 problem. We have the most shit to do in the entire world, and we get bored. You know, that's because, in my opinion, I have a spiritual malady, and I need to fill that hole with something, and usually just getting high and going to Magic Mountain sounds funner than just going to Magic Mountain, but it's not. When you're sober and you get to enjoy seeing the kids have a good time, or, you know, be kind to an old lady. And I say be kind because I was never kind. I was rude, crude, and socially unacceptable, and I am totally aware of that today. And I can slip back into that in a heartbeat, you know. The girl I'm with now, she'll have to squeeze my hand from time to time when she sees me starting to slip off into who gives a fuck attitude. Sorry about the language again. When I start to slip off into that, you know, she'll squeeze my hand and be like, babe, is it worth it? You know? And you're right. No, it's not worth it. And God talks to me through many ways, through you guys. Some of your comments are just so heartwarming. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that I am so grateful, from your comments to your cash donations. I am so grateful, and I try and make all that stuff work. Your comments make this feel this work. It helps me with that void that I have. You know, relying on a God of my understanding was a very, very difficult thing because I didn't have any God and I didn't have any understanding of a God. You know, unfortunately I do today. Unfortunately, I have people around me that I still wonder if they care. My issues, my trust issues are huge, you know, but I'm not going to bring that into any more situations. I'm going to start off with respect from the gate. You know, once that individual loses that respect, sorry, bud, no U-turns. It's that simple, you know. But I'm definitely going to put it out there to begin with. And, you know, it doesn't matter what they're getting out of the deal. The deal is that I get to feel okay about myself at the end of the day. And, in order for that to happen before, I had to make sure that I had belittled somebody, or I had hurt somebody's feelings, or I had downed somebody or made them feel less than. And yeah, I'd done all that. I did all that, and it made me feel better at the time, I thought, you know. But we have this thing called steps that we work. And when I got truly into my steps and I seen what a savage or an animal or whatever it is that I was, you know, and that I could slip back into at any time, which I never want to. I have to work on myself every single day. You know, I start my day off with the third step prayer, and then, you know, I'll go into reading just for today. And I never read the date. I just spin through the book and go right or left. And no matter what's going on, it touches on what's going on in my life. You know, I'm trying to get some things figured out. 51, I got a colonoscopy just the other day. I was displaying blood in places that, unless you're putting a knife in the glove box, you shouldn't be experiencing any blood there. Yeah, it's embarrassing to say, but I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? It's what happens at my age. So went and got that checked out. I just have to take care of myself. I'm on the back nine, and I want to get to enjoy this. I wasted the whole front part, man. All the fun stuff, getting to do all the wild and crazy stuff that you guys get to do out here and just take advantage of. So, boredom, I totally get it. You know, filling that void, it's not an easy job. So, if it's not affecting your life, hey, it eventually will. I can promise you that. You know what I mean? Like, just, you have everything right now, but you don't have that feel good inside. That's what I'm talking about, affecting your life. I'm not talking about you're going to lose the house, the job, the kids. I'm not saying you're going to lose all that, but you're going to lose a spiritual void and not ever be happy unless you Percocet, sipping on some syrup, you know what I mean? Having a drink or 12, whatever the case may be. They recently gave me, I did 3 days worth of morphine, and you know, I used to love that stuff, man. And all it did was make my stomach sick. It didn't make me feel very good. And I don't feel very good now after 3 days of doing it either in the hospital. So, but the pain was immense, you know. For all you women out there that go through those kind of cramps on a monthly basis, I feel for you, you know. Can't believe I just shared that on YouTube, but hey, you know what? So what? The worst has been said about me. I read all the comments. Take it in the tailpipe, in the joint, yada yada, woo woo. You know, oh, he's loaded off his ass now. You know, your perception of me, it doesn't really matter. I know who I am today, and I'm happy, man. I'm happy, joyous, and free for the most part, you know. And I'd like to see you join me on that, you know. Whatever your journey is, I'd like you to be happy. I'd like you to live each day. Not die once, but get up and live each and every day. I think I said that backwards, but, you know, I'm not a professional TV editor or commentarian or whatever the case may be. I'm just a fella that's been through some shit, and how I survived that shit is beyond me, and I get to hopefully share some of that stuff with you and maybe keep one of you out of trouble. I don't even know. Some would be nice, but one of you out of trouble, that would be great. So I appreciate you. I really do. I just want everybody to know that. From the comments to the cash donations, I appreciate you. And I do. I put the money to good work. It's never all about me, because if it was all about me, I would not get to have any of the things that I get to have in my life today, starting with you. I appreciate all of you. Back east, how you guys are dealing with this is beyond me. On a regular basis, dealing with rain. My boy, White Light Rising, man, every time I'm riding my bike to work in the rain, that's crazy to me. So how you guys live like that, beyond me, man. It's, you know, 68 degrees outside, and I'm like, can you get me a sweatshirt? So And I remember walking the track to the chow hall and just watching everybody slipping and, you know, because the ice is on the track, the shit would be hilarious until you're the one that slipped, you know. I'll be rolling watching people fall on their ass, and then it's happened to me a few times, let's just say that. You know, you got your hands in your pocket, you're bundled up, and just slip, and you got no hands to hit the ground before your ass does. So that's my version of 3 of the worst days. Some people would think Christmas and whatnot, and if you have kids, yeah, Christmas is right there. That would be top 4, you know, but I believe the top 3 worst days are entering prison, exiting prison, and Valentine's Day. So with that said, you guys, I hope that, you know, puts a few things into perspective for you, maybe slows you down on a thought that you're thinking. And if things aren't going your way today, don't worry about it. They weren't supposed to go your way today, but they're gonna. They're gonna. Yeah, I mean, somebody said I stole a comment for Herc. Hustle till your haters ask if you're hiring. Nah, I seen that as a meme a long time ago. I said I took it from Bounce Back or something, you know, one of these guys. I didn't steal it from anybody but a meme, but it doesn't matter. We're all supposed to share those positive things, right? We're all supposed to. The best revenge out there is success, you know, and the meaning of life is success, you know what I mean, or progress anyway. Shoot for some progress, and if you keep shooting for progress, I guarantee you're gonna find some form of success. That's like quite a few little balloons you got going there, huh? Hey, beautiful, you want to come out and smile for the camera real quick? Maybe I can get her to come out and say hi to you guys. I'd appreciate it if you'd be respectful when it comes to talking about my lady. You know, I would never talk bad about any of your ladies or kids or anything. Harriet! So, we're doing really well. She's been very supportive. She came to the hospital and stayed with me. Come here. Come say hi. Come say hi to the world. Please, they're expecting you now. So, you know, she's been very supportive. She came and stayed in the hospital bed with me, you know, my big ol' ass. Hi, beautiful. Come on in. Just come say hi. Say happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Hi, happy Valentine's Day.
Right? So, you see, it's worth staying out. You get to enjoy something like this. Hi, beautiful. Mwah, mwah. So, you guys, make life worth living. It's up to you. You know, enjoy it, because I'm sure going to try. You know, and to all you heavy hitters out there, man, some people want it to happen, some people need it to happen, but heavy hitters make it happen. Believe that. Nothing but love and respect shot your way. I'll be getting at you as soon as possible. Saturday, we're going to sit down and we're going to lay out some content for you so that we got plenty of fresh stuff being laid out for you. Jay is doing rather well. I guess she's on a waiting list. I guess it's up to 6-month waiting list before it was an emergency, going to get done overnight. I don't know how the story goes. I'm not his doctor, and I just go by what, you know, my interviewees say. You know, generally I know their stories, so I can back it up. I'm not going to let somebody come on here and tell a whole big-ass bullshit story. If I'm calling bullshit on it, it's not hitting the channel, believe that. So, and as for Patreon, I'm working, and I appreciate you guys so much, because you guys are what's helped me with being able to help with still doing the bed. The Patreon is what's helped cover the bed, because I backed out of it. I can't do 2 weeks for anybody anymore. I've been doing a week. You know, they get a week. By then they should be able to have a job, and the next week they can cover themselves because they go to another bed that they're paying for themselves. I'm still doing that. I've been doing that for a long time, and I want to continue doing that. And you guys are the ones that make that happen for me, you know. I love helping the vets. Like I said, usually the ones that are finally ready to get off the streets and get into a place and shave up and clean up and get a haircut and then get a job are, you know, vets, people that have been there. So, and I love helping them. I love anybody that has supported our country. You know, anyone that's willing to die for that flag, you got my support, you know. Anyway, some people want it, Some people need it, but heavy hitters make it. I know I already said it, but I'm saying it again. Nothing but love and respect shot your way. Have a happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. You know, hug somebody. Just hug somebody and make their day feel special. Say hi to somebody that you wouldn't normally. Put yourself out there. Go to Starbucks and just say hi to somebody. See if you can't bring a smile to their face. Hey, I appreciate you all. We'll talk at you soon. Alrighty then. Bye.